Why reading is important in life? Imagine having a superpower, a power that lets you travel the world without moving, learn from the greatest minds without meeting them, and change your future using only your mind. That superpower is reading. And today, many people say, I don't have time to read. But the truth is, people who don't read are slowly losing something very valuable, their ability to think deeply. 1. Reading builds the mind. Reading is not just about books, it is about training your brain. Just like the body needs exercise, the mind needs reading. Every page you read improves your thinking, sharpens your focus, increases your understanding of life. A person who reads regularly can analyze problems better and make smarter decisions. Reading turns information into wisdom. 2. Reading improves language and confidence. Have you noticed how confident speakers use simple but powerful words? That confidence comes from reading. When you read, your vocabulary grows naturally. Your grammar improves without memorizing rules. You learn how to express thoughts clearly. This is why good readers often become better speakers, better writers, better communicators. Reading silently builds a loud confidence inside you. 3. Reading opens new perspectives. A person who never reads lives in one small world, but a reader lives many lives. Through books, you understand different cultures, learn from other people's mistakes, see life from new angles. Reading removes ignorance and replaces it with awareness. It teaches you empathy, patience, and maturity. 4. Reading helps in success. Look at successful people in any field business, leadership, science, or art. One habit is common, they read. They read to learn faster, avoid repeating mistakes, stay ahead of others. Books contain years of experience. Reading saves time, the trial and error would waste. Leaders or readers. 5. Reading calms the mind. In a noisy world full of stress and distraction, reading is peace. Just a few minutes of reading reduces stress, improves concentration, brings clarity to the mind. While scrolling tires your brain, reading heals it. A calm mind creates better decisions. 6. Reading shapes character. Books silently teach values: discipline, patience, curiosity, self belief. Stories inspire you to dream bigger. Biographies remind you that struggles are normal. Knowledge books prepare you for real life. Reading doesn't just change what you know, it changes who you become. If you want to grow, read. If you want confidence, read. If you want success, read. Start small, one page a day is enough because a reader today becomes a leader tomorrow. Make reading a habit. Your future self will thank you. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a world without books. No stories, no lessons from the past, no wisdom passed from one generation to another. Human progress would stop. Reading is not just a habit, it is the foundation of human growth. Every civilization that rose to greatness was built on reading, learning, and knowledge. But today, in the age of fast videos and short attention spans, reading is slowly disappearing from daily life. This audiobook is a reminder of why reading still matters, why it can change your thinking, your confidence, and your future. Take a deep breath, relax your mind. Let us begin this journey one page at a time. Reading and the human brain. The human brain is powerful, but like any muscle, it becomes weak if it is not used properly. Reading is exercise for the brain. When you read, your brain does not remain passive. It imagines, it analyzes, it connects ideas. Every sentence forces your brain to think. People who do not read often complain, I forget things easily. I can't focus. I feel confused. This is not a talent problem. This is a training problem. Reading improves memory, concentration, logical thinking. Just 10 minutes of reading a day slowly rewires your brain. A trained brain sees solutions where others see problems. How reading builds confidence. Confidence does not come from speaking loudly, it comes from knowing clearly. Reading fills the mind with clarity. When you read, you learn new words naturally. You understand sentence flow. You observe correct expressions. That is why readers speak calmly. They don't rush, they don't panic. Their mind has already practiced language silently. For people learning English, reading is a silent teacher. You don't need fear, you don't need pressure. Just read. Your confidence will grow quietly. Reading opens your world. A person who never reads lives only one life, but a reader lives thousands. Through books, you walk in ancient cities, understand different cultures, learn how other people think. Reading removes narrow thinking. It teaches that your problems are not unique, struggles are universal, growth is possible. Reading expands your inner world even if your outer world is small. Reading and success. Behind every successful person is a habit of learning. Success is not luck, it is preparation. Books contain mistakes of others, lessons learnt through pain, experience collected over years. When you read, you borrow wisdom without paying the price. This is why leaders read. This is why thinkers read. This is why builders of the future read. Reading prepares you before life tests you. Reading in a distracted world. Today's world is noisy. Notifications, scrolling, constant distraction. The mind is always busy, but rarely focused. Reading brings silence. When you read, the mind slows down. Thoughts become clear. Stress reduces naturally. Unlike scrolling, reading gives rest to the brain. Reading is meditation with meaning. Reading shapes character. Books don't shout lessons, they whisper them. Stories teach patience. Biographies teach resilience. Philosophy teaches balance. Reading slowly builds discipline, emotional strength, inner maturity. A reader thinks before reacting. A reader listens before judging. Books don't change the world directly, they change people, and people change the world. Building a reading habit. Start small, very small, one page a day, 5 minutes a day. Do not aim for speed, aim for consistency. Choose books that inspire you, teach you, calm you. Reading is not a race, it is a relationship with knowledge. Slow reading builds strong foundations. The reader's future. Reading is quiet. It does not demand attention. It waits patiently. But its impact is powerful. A reader thinks deeper. A reader grows stronger. A reader becomes wiser. If you want to change your life, don't start loudly. Start by opening a book. One page today can change tomorrow. Make reading your companion. Make knowledge your strength. And remember, a reader today becomes a leader tomorrow. Many people ask, how can I learn English fluently? They try grammar rules, they memorize words, they watch videos. But one powerful method is often ignored: reading. Reading is not just a habit, it is one of the strongest tools to learn English naturally. 1. Reading trains your brain in English. When you read English, your brain starts thinking in English. You are not translating, you are understanding. This is how children learn a language, by seeing words again and again in context. Reading helps you understand sentence structure, learn correct word order, think naturally in English. The brain learns faster when learning feels natural. 2. Reading builds vocabulary without memorizing. Most learners try memorize words lists, but they forget quickly. Reading solves this problem. When you read, words repeat naturally. Meanings become clear through sentences. Memory becomes stronger. You don't force vocabulary, vocabulary comes to you. Words learned through reading stay longer in the mind. 3. Reading improves grammar silently. Grammar books teach rules, but reading teaches usage. When you read daily, you see correct grammar again and again. Your brain recognizes patterns. You start using grammar correctly without thinking. This is called natural grammar learning. You don't speak grammar, you speak language. 4. Reading improves speaking and confidence. Speaking fear comes from uncertainty. Reading removes that fear. When you read, you already know sentence flow. You know how ideas are expressed. You feel confident while speaking. Reading silently prepares you to speak confidently. Good speakers are always good readers. 5. Reading improves pronunciation and listening. When you combine reading, listening to audiobooks, your pronunciation improves. You learn stress, intonation, natural rhythm of English. Reading while listening trains your ear and tongue together. 6. Reading makes you independent. You don't need a teacher all the time. With reading, books become your teachers. Stories become your practice partners. Articles become daily lessons. Even 10 minutes of reading daily creates powerful progress. Consistency matters more than speed. 7. How to start reading for English learning. Start simple. Choose short stories, simple articles, graded readers. Do not rush. Read slowly. Understand meaning, not every word. If you don't understand a word, guess the meaning from the sentence. Enjoy the process. If you want to learn English, read daily, read slowly, read consistently. Reading will build vocabulary, improve grammar, increase confidence, improve speaking. English is not learnt by fear, it is learnt by exposure. Open a book today. Your English will improve quietly but powerfully. The paper boy who taught himself English. Every morning before the sun woke up, a thin boy named Ravi was already on the streets. His bicycle was old, its bell barely rang. The bag on his shoulder was heavier than his body. Ravi was a paper boy. While the town was still asleep, he delivered newspapers to houses, shops, and tea stalls. People saw him every day, but nobody really noticed him. To most people, he was just the paper boy. Ravi studied in the government school. The school taught English, but the teacher spoke most of the time. Students listened silently. Ravi wanted to speak English. He wanted to understand it, but English felt like a locked door. At home, nobody spoke English. There was no smartphone, no internet, no coaching classes. Only one thing entered Ravi's life every day: the newspaper. At first, English newspapers scared him. The letters looked strange. The words felt long and confusing. Sentences had no meaning. Sometimes Ravi thought, this language is not for people like me. But every morning, while delivering newspapers, he noticed something. People read English newspapers with confidence. They focused news freely. They spoke with clarity. Ravi wondered, if they can read it, why can't I? One day, after finishing his delivery, Ravi sat under a tree. He opened an English newspaper slowly. He didn't try to understand everything. He just read the headlines. One word at a time, one sentence at a time. Most words made no sense. But Ravi did not close the paper. Every day he learnt one new word. Just one. He wrote it on a torn notebook page. He guessed its meaning from the news story. Sometimes he was wrong, sometimes right, but he never stopped. Days turned into months. Ravi started recognizing words. Sentences slowly made sense. Fear slowly disappeared. He read while waiting at tea stalls, during breaks at school, under street lights at night. He read even when he was tired, even when his eyes burnt, even when people laughed. Some said, why are you reading English? It's useless for a paper boy. Ravi didn't reply. He kept reading. One day at school, the English teacher asked a question. Silence filled the classroom. Slowly, Ravi raised his hand. His voice was shaky, but his answer was correct. The teacher looked surprised. Where did you learn this English? The teacher asked. Ravi replied slowly, softly, from newspapers, sir. That day, Ravi realized something powerful. Life was not easy. Sometimes people didn't pay for newspapers. Sometimes Ravi cycled in the rain. Sometimes hunger distracted him while reading. But he never missed a day of reading. Even when he didn't understand fully, he trusted the process. English slowly entered his thinking. He stopped translating in his head. He started understanding naturally. Years later, Ravi applied for a job at a small office. The interview was in English. His clothes were simple. His background was poor, but his English was clear. He spoke calmly. He answered confidently. The interviewer smiled. You learnt English well. Where did you study? Ravi smiled and said, on the streets, delivering newspapers. Ravi did not learn English in classrooms. He learnt it between deliveries, between struggles, between hope and exhaustion. He proved one truth. You don't need perfect conditions to learn. You need consistency. Reading one newspaper every day changed a paper boy's future. If a tired paper boy can learn English by reading daily, so can you. Start small, read daily, trust the process. Because sometimes the pages you deliver end up delivering your destiny. If a boy who rode empty streets at dawn, carrying newspapers heavier than his dreams, could teach himself English one word at a time, then nothing is impossible. He didn't have money, he didn't have comfort, he didn't have guidance. All he had was consistency. Remember this, English is not learnt in one day, it is learnt one page at a time. So open a book, read a newspaper, read even when it feels hard. Because the habit you built quietly today may change your entire life tomorrow. If this story inspired you, subscribe for more real life motivational stories that teach English through reading and listening. Thank you for listening. Keep reading, keep learning, keep believing.